Hey, welcome to Hammered Ironworks. I'm Dave, if we haven't met. Still Dave if we have met. Wait, I used that line before. Anyway, this is part 3 of my roof rack build. This has taken me 3 times as long as I meant it to, because 3 episodes I meant it to be 1. Anyway, stick around. I'm gonna actually get this painted and then mount it on the roof of my Expedition and wire it up. And hopefully I'm gonna get like a picture of it just looking awesome before it starts rusting. I'll explain the rust factor later. Okay, so like I said, the rust factor. Let's take a look. You're gonna see what I'm seeing. So the way I've attached this expanded metal was just on top of this square tube right here, on top of this square tube, and then underneath when we flip this baby upside down, it's all just spot welded everywhere. So I'm afraid there's gonna be a lot of places that, you know, are gonna rust because I don't get paint in them. And then even inside of this right here, all that is gonna make it so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to touch up the rust that's gonna start forming in about a month. Okay, so to prep this thing for paint, I've gotta clean it up. It's got oil all over it from my first video where I actually did all the bends with my Rogue Fab bender, oiled everything up. Then the metal itself has like some oil on it so it doesn't corrode. So I'm gonna use this stuff here that I call usually eyeball bummer, but this is actually Limpador Para P, that stuff. It's this basically. I've got 2 so I can go full hose. Wah! See how much oil and garbage I'm pulling off of that? So that took way too long. I'm gonna flip it and do a final hose off on the bottom, and then I guess I call that good, or good enough. Game over for that one. One of my subscribers had a great idea. We're gonna do a reverse drinking game. Yep, a reverse drinking game. So when I have myself a shop soda with all the vitamins in it that I need to sustain a healthy life at my age, you can go ahead and leave a comment. See, it's a reverse drinking game. I drink a shop soda, you leave a comment. That'll get YouTube spreading this garbage around. So like I said, I've got all these voids everywhere where if I don't get the paint in there, it's just gonna rust right away. So I am gonna hose it. And I am using, today's flavor is Rattle Can Matte Glacier Gray. Because A, it's cheap, and B, see this lid? That's the color. I'm sure a lot of you know that. Well, that color is exactly what nature has done to the trim on the side of my sweet Expedition. It's this color, so now we're gonna color match. Work with nature, not against it. Big embarrassing drips, I'll just go like wipe those off so when I build up some paint over it later, hopefully, you know, it hides. And now, we flip. 3 cans later, and like, you know, it's got a pretty good coat. This last little touch-up coat should do it. And I know this because I'm on can number 5, and I only gave myself 5 cans to work with on this piece of it. So that's how I know. The paint's dry. That means with every spare second I've got, I can sneak out here while no one's looking in the shop and start putting it together. So the time has come to put the rack up on the roof, and I have a helper for that because, you know, I'm only so tall and so strong. So if you recall, way back in like episode number, I guess number 2 of this build, I had put these nut plates in this roof track. Now I gotta fish them into the right spot so I can actually get the roof rack bolted onto the rails. Do you recall that? Because I sure do. With the right washer and lock washer and piece of plastic, so my Allen key will kind of stick it all together. Now somehow, I've got to like fish this down in there, which, good luck to me. And then, hey look, I can see from here. Nice. And then, start that. Or not. Aw, that's sad. That's what I like to ride. Riding the struggle bus. Ha! Got it that time. Woo! Okay, so of course by the last one, I finally figured out a method. So, I get that nut plate centered. I hold it in place with this little piece of wire. I then get my high-end stainless, because I'm a classy guy, hardware. And I use my right length bolt, my lock washer, my expertly measured thickness regular washer, and then with a little wiggle and a little turn, get it started in that nut plate, and then it all comes together. So I gotta figure a way to put this big old tire that you probably haven't seen up there. So yeah, I haven't really figured that out yet. Oh boy. I think first what we do is run it up the side of the vehicle like this, and then maybe like no, that didn't work. Huh? What am I gonna do here? Okay, back down we go. Round 1, fail. Round 2, hopefully it doesn't fail. Oh yeah. So here's what I didn't think about: having a receiver to grab the tire. Aww. Okay, I got no way of getting up there. Round 2, fail. A little bit defeated and tired at the same time. So for round 3, I'm gonna wait a minute for help because I need it, and I'll just put this light up here because I like lights. Sure could use a wrench. Oh, I got my wrench finger. Okay, wrench finger did not torque it to spec. I just found a victim to help. So, ended up bumping the road right there. Oh. Okay, so now, look, once I get it up here, it's like super easy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so one more. Okay, now, you got it sort of slowly.
Do you need me to hold that side?
You should tickle. I swear to God, I will drop this. Jesus, it's moving.
What's moving?
The friggin' tire when you move the vehicle.
Oh, this is gravy. I got it now. Oh, I don't have it. I got it. I'm gonna do it. Oh boy. Yep, that's easy on the back. I don't see why doing that on the side of the road wouldn't be easy. Strapping the tire. Hook goes here. Ratchet goes there. And then that goes there. And then keep it flat. because of the high-end ride, you don't want wind noise. Yep. That ought to hold it. Now the trick here is to cut these just borderline too short. Perfect. So since this is currently a one-wheel drive vehicle, I got these little cheap, you know, traction plate thingies. Maybe I'll put the ratchet part over there. Perfect. Time to hold down the fuel jugs, which hopefully the ratchet strap system will continue to work for me. So everything's put together and I never gave you the walk around. So there it is. All the lights in place, not wired up. Gonna work on that. So a little while ago, a buddy of mine helped me run some wires up through the headliner. So basically I'm using this like outdoor shielded wire. Got it off Amazon. I don't know. Anyway, we labeled everything. We got, I don't know what corn stands for. Reverse and, oh yeah, corner lights. That stands for corner light wire. This right here is gonna be reverse wire and this is gonna be the bar light. Yeah, that's what it's for. See, I told you it was a while ago. Gonna run these up and around right here, put a drip loop in them, and then run it up onto the roof rack. Kinda did some of the same thing right here with the CB antenna wire. Just a drip loop right here, zip tie it in place, and it goes up to the CB antenna. Okay, so now I figure out which wire goes where, and start running them along. I think I'll do the inside of the tubing up on top of that mesh of that expanded metal. I think that will help to hide it and I can zip tie it in place. I've got pretty much everything I need up here for my little workstation to run some wires. I'll show you when I'm done. So it did occur to me that you might want to know what it is I'm using. So this is some of that wire I'm using outside of the vehicle. Got that stuff from, oh, I think that was Amazon. And then I can't remember if this was Amazon or if this was eBay, but you know, good heat shrink butt connectors, way cheaper than some of the nicer ones you buy in town. So these lights I've got, they come pre-stripped, but I'm gonna strip them back a little bit further using these strippers I've had for, oh, I don't know, 20 some odd years. These heat shrink butt connectors come with some different sizes of wire they're supposed to work with. It's kind of a rule of thumb. Sometimes different manufacturers of wires are actually a different thickness, so it's hit or miss as to what works. You gotta use your judgment. Then, you got some of these Titan crimpers that do a real good job of mushing it down just the right amount. Now this is 14 gauge wire, that outdoor stuff I was showing you. And what comes out of these lights is far smaller. However, these butt connectors, they're not actually for 14 gauge, but you can, if you take and twist up that wire strand real tight, you can just sneak them into that little bullet that you crimp. So that's what I'm doing. It gives me the chance to change over wire size. so I can just basically have one wire size does it all, not have to switch between two different gauges. So in the situation that I am going to put 3 wires in, so I can jump her over to my other corner light on the other side, I'll put the 2 small ones, wrap them onto the 2 bigger ones of the 14 gauge, and put them in this blue butt connector, which is made to take, you know, 14 through 16, 18, I don't know, something. And I'll cram those in one side, you'll see. So that's how I'm able to jumper a wire over to the other side of the rack. That's way trickier to do on film because I was trying to give you a perspective of what I was doing without getting the pliers in the way. Anyway, it's done. I've got all the wiring run inside the tube. Well, not inside, but on the inside of the rack. Now it's time to go inside, wire it all up, and then see if I made my connections right, so the lights turn on. Earlier when I told you about my buddy that helped me run some wires, we also put this switch plate in that I got off of eBay, and pre-ran some of the wires I was going to need to wire it in for power and signal from my high beams and reverse, because I want my lights to come on and be able to control them fully from also high beam or the reverse switch, or override them, turn them on. And that's where I'm going to get into using relays. So let's talk about this basic Bosch style relay and how it's not scary and really handy when you're trying to wire up things in a vehicle. On the bottom of the relay, I think you can see there's actually some numbers that label these terminals. You may not know what those numbers mean until we look at the map right up on top. So up on top, let me get my pointer. Okay, so up on top you can see over here 85 and 86. This actually is the little electromagnet. It only pulls about 250 milliamps. So what we do is we can use a very small current flow from a small switch with small wiring to then control heavy current over here. This one's rated up to 40 amps. The heavy current side of the relay is right over here between pin 87A and 30, which is normally closed. And then when we energize this electromagnet over here with our small current flow, it toggles this over to make a connection between 30 and 87, making that closed, and now it goes open on 87A to 30. I probably explained that a little bit in a confusing way, but we're using small current over here to make an electromagnet toggle a switch and control bigger current. In this one's case, 40 amps. So I'm going to use this basically to control my lights up on the roof, so I can have my high beams either turn on and off the light bar or not. And also my reverse lights can be turned on and off with my reverse switch in the vehicle, or manually by one of these switches. So I've got it all wired up and everything is working. I'm not going to end up putting my high beams to my LED light bar right now. I'll have to put a switch in line to this. I was going to use one of these, but right now my switch for my high beams like sticks on and like it's, I don't know, it's junk basically. I got to go unlock it. I'll get a new one. So until I fix that, I don't want to have the option of having my light bar stuck on all the time. So I'll deal with this once I fix that. But for now, I got to stuff all this garbage back in here. That should be easy. Ta-da! So I've got it rigged up. So this switch, first switch, is my light bar, as you can see. Then this next switch over is what I'll use to actually make it so my high beam will or won't turn on that LED light bar. Then right here I've got my side lights, which are lighting up the door quite nicely. And then I got my reverse lights back here, and my reverse lights I can turn on and off by the switch, or if I put the vehicle in reverse, it turns them on. So anytime a guy builds something, you always want to test it. So I decided the best way to test this here roof rack was actually to get a bunch of buddies, pile them up in there, and go travel dirt roads. Well, a couple, 2 or 3 extra scratches on the paint, and 200 miles later, we tested her out. As it turns out, this 2-wheel drive does pretty good in really tight quarters. But I think the sidewall will take it. Oh yeah, that's pretty good right there. Oh, you're good. Oh, touching's okay on plastic. Yeah, you just go. Oh, man. She made it fine. It fit perfect. A bit of rubber on the rock. It struggles a little bit with the hill climb until you get some momentum. We definitely bounced it around over some adverse terrain. I mean, the vehicle as a whole works pretty good. You can even have a picnic right out of the back. Lunchtime. We were all pretty impressed with where this 2-wheel drive will take you, and I think it's because my tires are all chopped up. So those are like poor man mud tires. I guess it's time to turn around. We got into some pretty remote places with this old girl. Oh, the mirror's folded. I hope you enjoyed the video and the overall build with 3 episodes to get what I've got now. Don't forget to stay cheap, cheesy, and crafty. We'll see you in the next episode.